Hey, Sean Bowden here, and I'm here today to talk to you about my workshop lesson plan with setting up class notebooks with Microsoft OneNote online. I did it at my current school, Garrison Mill Elementary School. And if you look here, I have created a Word document that gives the overview and purpose explanation of what my workshop is all about, a short bulleted list of my school's vision and mission statement. I made a bulleted list of my objectives for the workshop, and then I have a list of materials needed for technology. I linked all of my handouts that I created to support this workshop here. I have a section for my evaluation instrument that I use at the end of the workshop, and then I have a summary of step by step what the workshop would entail. And down here below, I have my workshop resources page where I have linked of everything that I created for the workshop, including a link for all of the handouts I made again. Then I had a link for my online instructional component, which was a web page I made with Weebly, which I'm going to pull up here in a minute. I have my evaluation instrument one more time. And then here I've linked my evaluation narrative and spreadsheet from the data from the workshop evaluation form following the workshop. And then down here below, I created a flyer that I gave out prior to the workshop to get everybody motivated. All right, so additionally, I use a program called Active Presenter by Atomi. It was a free program I found online for screencasting, and I'm actually using it right now for this current screencast. And I uploaded a screencast to YouTube. It's pretty lengthy. It's about 25 minutes, but I go through the exact workshop step by step, showing everything that I showed the teachers at the workshop for those who were not able to make it. I shared that with my staff, and that way everyone has access to the same content that I delivered that day. And this link has not yet been set because I'm currently doing it right now, but I wanted to go ahead and link it to this current lesson plan. So without further ado, I will show you some of the things that I met. Before I do that, I want to pull up the rubric here. And as I scroll down here, one of the components of the rubric said that I needed to have 3 or more student-created handouts that support my learning objectives that are easy to use and well-developed with accurate content. So if I go here, I'm going to go ahead and click the links to all of my different handouts. The first one I did was I took snapshots using the snipping tool, and I did a detailed explanation of each part of how to set up class notebooks with OneNote. As you see here, it shows anyone that would have access to this document, how to go ahead and set up their class notebooks. The next document that I created was step-by-step instructions for uploading content once they've created their class notebooks to the content library. And so it shows here that, hey, once you set up your notebook, I pointed out where to go to find the content library. I explained what the explanation was saying in a short, concise statement. And then I showed how to begin adding pages to the content library to get some bit of organization so that files can go in the right places. And then I showed how to go from using the OneNote online in the web browser to using OneNote 2016. And one thing I plan to do in future workshops is to show people how to use the newest version of it, because by default it goes to OneNote 2016, but now there's a new one just simply titled OneNote. It's got way more features. And it's a little bit more user-friendly. But without further ado, moving on. And I gave a more detailed explanation of how to go about adding files and how to go from inserting a file as an attachment or opening it full on to a handout, and how you can also use the drawing tool to make marks on the pages. And students can do this as well. I kind of gave a brief explanation of all of that. All right, so moving back to the next thing. I also created an explanation of what each tab does in the actual program of OneNote, so that when they click on Home or when they click on the Home tab, they click on the Insert tab, they click on the Draw tab, the History, the Review, View, Class Notebook. It tells them a little bit of a summary of what each tool does in there. In addition to that, I also gave an explanation of what the Collaboration Space tab is used for, and I reiterated some things that I said about the content library as well. So that's kind of a little cheat sheet, if you will, for that. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show in regards to a particular part of the rubric, the next part of the rubric, it talks about the online instructional component. So what I did is I used Weebly.com, which is where I've got my student portfolio, and I created a website to support this lesson plan. So I'll go ahead and take you there now. And as you see, it opens up and it says Microsoft OneNote Workshop. I've got in my first tab, what is Microsoft OneNote? And what I've got here is, in addition to that, I found another video online that I did not create this video, but it does support everything that I did in my workshop. So you can view that once you go there. I made little buttons at the bottom also to help go along, or you can navigate through this website up at the top menu bar. So the second tab is called Setup. And this explains how to set up OneNote Notebook. I also attached another video from actually, I think this one was from Microsoft themselves on how to get started with setting up your class notebook. And I also attached my own file. So if I click that, it shows the same file, except it opens it as the full-on attachment, as you can see here. So it's the same thing I had in my lesson plan, but instead of it going to OneNote Online, it actually opens the physical file, which you can do with OneNote Online anyway. So there are multiple ways to access my handouts throughout my resources that I've created. Okay, moving on. The tab that says Sections actually shows the explanation of the OneNote tab functions. Next page is the content library. This talks about setting up your content library. I have a little blurb here on each one, just kind of making it a little bit light and humorous, if you will, going on. And I put finally screencast. This is all great, but how did you happen to make a video? Why, yes, I did. And here I have a link to, I've embedded a link to my own video that I uploaded to YouTube, which is the same video I also linked to my lesson plan, which you can see here where it says workshop screencast. And then the evaluation. This is a link to the workshop evaluation form. And anyone that visits this website, please, I urge you to, once you look at my screencast, if you do take the time to do that, please also fill out the workshop form. I mean, you've already spent 25 minutes, right? You might as well do the workshop evaluation for me. That'll tell me how I'm doing and let me know what I need to change in the future. And last but not least, I created a little tab for contact. It has my email address if you want to ask me some questions. And I also have, in addition to that, a little form just to make a quick comment, give me your email if you would like to. And that will meet all the requirements of the online instructional component. All right, scooting on down, additional elements. I did create, I showed you earlier, a YouTube video of my face-to-face instruction. 25 minutes worth. And I created an agenda within my lesson plan. I created a flyer. I don't know if I ever showed the flyer. Let's see. Go into this and I scroll down, additional documents, reminder flyer. This was a little flyer I used. Everything I got was from Creative Commons as far as the image goes up here. So it is copyright free. And I just kind of said, hey, come on down, computer lab. Who can come? Anyone. What will we be learning? And I gave a short, brief explanation of what we're going to be doing. Hope to see you there. Yay. So, last thing, going back to the rubric, workshop evaluation instrument. I've got that linked to my lesson plan also. And so I'm just going to go ahead and give you guys a quick view of that. I made it with Microsoft Forms, which is just like Google Forms, except it's Office 365's version. All of my tools were made with Office 365. The Cobb County School District paid a lot of money for every teacher and every student to use Office 365, which is why I chose to use it instead of Google. I know a lot of teachers choose Google, but I figured let's go with Office. I'm more familiar with Office anyways. So this is my evaluation form. I just asked some rating questions, a few short answers, and my people that showed up, my 6 people that showed up for my workshop, 4 out of 6 of them did fill out this instrument, and I analyzed their data, which I will briefly show you in my narrative, which is going to be the next part of the rubric. It says in the next part, workshop evaluation data and narrative. I'm going to show you guys that real quick as well. It's also linked within my lesson plan. I've got evaluation narrative and evaluation spreadsheet. The evaluation spreadsheet I'll show first. It's just an Excel document that I took directly from the results of my forms, and it shows what each question stated and what the everyone was anonymous, so I don't know who put what, but it just kind of put the different answers they put, and you can just kind of navigate that as you would any kind of other spreadsheet. And last but not least, the evaluation narrative. I set this up very similarly to how I set up my cheat sheets. I took my snipping tool and I literally snipped the question results that I got from each point, and I put multiple paragraphs to kind of explain a few questions at a time. So I have my intro paragraph, and then I have numbers 1 and 2 because they go hand in hand together, and I analyze what each teacher said in their comments, and I put a paragraph after that. 3 and 4 went together. I put a paragraph to analyze that. 5, 6, and 7 all went together. I put a paragraph to analyze that, and it gave me those particular questions actually gave me a lot to think about in regards to future workshops. And so I kind of put they gave me some ideas going forward for the follow-up plan. And then 8 and 9, I got even more ideas to follow up. And then finally, number 10 was me kind of reflecting on how it went and thinking about ways to research how to kind of motivate more teachers to come next time. I kind of realize now that that's a struggle, I'm sure, with a lot of technology coaches, getting people to, want to work with them. And I kind of see that even with just doing a workshop. I mean, I'm a regular classroom teacher and everybody knows me, but I'm just trying to imagine what it would be like going to a brand new school. But with that being said, I believe that meets all the needs of the rubric. If you have any questions for me, please let me know. All right, thank you.